Hey there, thanks for taking the time to learn more about CommonLit today. CommonLit is a free online reading program for students in grades 3 through 12. This video today is for parents. I'm going to teach you how, as parents or guardians, you can learn how to use CommonLit's program to support your students at home. During this video, we're going to talk about several different things. We'll talk about how you can create a free account on CommonLit, how you could set up an online class and begin sharing lessons with your child, how you can assign lessons to your students, and then how what the students will see when they complete lessons on CommonLit's program. First, let's get started by talking a little bit more about what the CommonLit program includes. CommonLit's an online reading program that includes over 2,000 reading lessons. These reading lessons are great for students in grades 3 all the way up to grade 12. In our program, students will find poems, short stories, nonfiction articles that they can read and learn about. One thing that's really great about our program is that you can also print off our lessons, or you can share those lessons with students through our online program. We'll show you how to do that later today. The lessons come with comprehension questions that students can answer. Students can listen to texts or stories read to them. They can take notes as they read. There's lots of great features that we'll talk more about. And then finally, you can also see how students do on those lessons. So you can see if they understood the story as they were reading it. And then finally, CommonLit also offers, in addition to lessons in English, we also offer over 500 lessons in Spanish as well. So that's a great option to check out as well. I'm going to go ahead and click the Create Free Account button. CommonLit's a completely free program. This setting up a parent account is the first step to sharing lessons with your child. This is extremely easy to do. I'll show you exactly how you can get it done right now. So I'm going to click here, the button that says Parent and Guardian, and then I'm going to click Next. In order to create a parent account, you need to provide just very basic information, your name, email address, and then set a password. And then that will pretty much get you set up with an account. I already have a parent account set up, so I'm going to go here to where it says Login. We offer a couple of different ways for parents to log into a CommonLit account. You could enter your email name, your email and password, or you can just click Login with Google if you're logged into a Google account like I am. So I'm going to click Login with Google for today. Okay. So now I'm in my account, and I'm going to start off by going to my Manage Classes page. Here's where you can set up an online class so that you can begin assigning lessons to your child. The first thing that you're going to want to do is click the button here that says Create a New Class, and then you'll want to click the button that says Create a New Class manually. You'll enter a little bit of information. You can click you could type in a name for the class that you're going to be working with at home. You can choose the lesson, the grade level that applies to your child, and then you can choose a subject area like English. That won't impact the student experience. And then you'll click the button that says Create Class here at the bottom of the page. I've already set up this online class. I've called my class Home Learning. I've already invited my child to join the class. And then what you'll see here is called a class code. When students create an account on CommonLit, they're asked to enter a class code so that they can join a class. The code for this class you can see here, and then I shared that code with my child so that when they logged into CommonLit, they entered that code so that they would be joined to my class. I'm going to go over now, and we're going to start to talk about how you can assign lessons to students on the CommonLit program. So I'm going to go now to the button here that says Library, and then I'm going to click Browse All Content. On this page, you're going to see the CommonLit library and many of the great lessons that we offer. So if I scroll down here in the middle of the page, these are some of the texts that we're featuring this month. We're featuring several texts about U.S. government since we're close to the election. We're featuring texts for Hispanic Heritage Month, texts that relate to disease prevention, that connect to COVID-19. And then we also have many texts that are just wonderful stories for high school students, middle school students. You'll notice that there's many great authors that we'll feature. So for example, we feature short stories here by authors like Alice Walker or Kurt Vonnegut, or Gary Soto. These are all authors that students commonly read in high school or middle school. We also have many great stories for younger kids. For example, we have partnerships with organizations like Scholastic that do a lot of great work with children's literacy. If I go over here to the side of the page, I can also find a lesson that's going to be exactly for the right age level of my child. So let's say my student at home is in 5th grade. I can choose just the 5th grade stories. And then this is going to give me a selection of short stories and nonfiction articles and poems that are most popular for 5th grade students. So you'll see some of those options here. And I'm going to go ahead and choose this nonfiction text. It's a short biography on the life of Martin Luther King Jr. I'll go ahead and click that for now. So now that I'm here, there are some different resources that I can check out. The first is that I can download any lesson for my child. I could download it and print it out, and then my student can read it on their own. So let me click that here. And this is gonna, you'll see what this looks like in just a moment. So with the PDF feature, you can see here, you get the article, and then there are also some, there's a feature called discussion questions, where you can, these are some questions that you can use to talk about the reading passage with your child. These questions tend to be open-ended and thought-provoking. Now, if I go back to the story, I'll click out of that for a moment. I also have the option to assign the lesson digitally to my child. So what I can do here is if I click on the class that my child belongs in, this home learning class, I'll click that button. And then I can change the directions if I would like, but I'll leave those the same. I'm going to turn on this feature here called guided reading mode. Guided reading mode is a feature that asks students questions as they read the story. And then finally, if I wanted to click a due date so that there's a date that I'm assigning for my child to finish the lesson by, I could do that as well. I'm going to have my student work on it today. So I'm going to say that the due date's tomorrow. And I'm going to click assign. Okay, so now this is getting sent over to my student's account. I'm going to go ahead and click into the student account. I'm now logged into the student account that's connected to that parent account, and I'm going to refresh my page so that I can get that lesson. And if I scroll down, I now have that lesson that my parent just assigned to me, that short informational biography about the life of Martin Luther King Jr. And I'll click begin assignment. So as a student, I have access to many great features as I'm reading the text. At the top of the page, there's a feature called Read Aloud. A feature, students can listen to the story read aloud to them. This is a great feature for students who are learning how to read and may have some difficulties sounding out words. I'm going to go ahead and click the play button here.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Changing America, by Barbara Rodner, 2000.
So that's a great feature for students to check out. The next is we also offer a translation feature. So if students their native language is not English, they can switch the text, or they can see the story in their native language as well. So I'll choose Vietnamese, and then I'll click the translation button, and then I can read the Vietnamese next to the English, if that would be helpful to me. And then finally, students can also highlight the text or take notes as they read. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll highlight that first sentence, and then I'll also take a note. This article is about. And all of these notes will save for students. And taking those notes will be really helpful to help students track their ideas as they're reading the story. Now, after students get down, as they start reading the story, you'll see here that the page is blurred out. In order to advance through the text, students will have to answer a multiple choice question that proves that they understand what they've just read. This helps students track their comprehension and make sure that they're understanding everything that they're reading. So this question says, what made Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a unique leader in the civil rights movement? I'll go ahead and choose A, and I got that correct. It lets me know that I understood that part of the story really well, and I'm encouraged to go on to the next part of the story. I'm going to go ahead and choose answer choice C for this next one. And I got that question wrong. It encourages me to go back and to try again. So I'm going to go ahead now and try to get this question correct. And now I've gotten that question right. I'm encouraged to move on to the next part of the story. And now I'll do the very last question. And now I've gotten that correct. And now I have completed my first lesson on CommonLit as a student. So I'm going to submit the assessment. And I have completed that lesson, and now I'm ready to go ahead and choose a new lesson on CommonLit to work on. So today we've learned how parents can set up an account on CommonLit, how they can assign lessons to their children, and then learned a little bit about what that student experience on CommonLit looks like once they've been assigned a lesson. I hope that this has been really, really helpful for you today. If you have any questions about how to use CommonLit, please email us at help@commonlit.org. We are more than excited to help you get started with our program and use it successfully with your family. Thanks so much for learning with us today.